Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk, and today we're going to talk about the Simgot EN700 Pro. Simgot EN700 Pros have been a unique experience. Truly enjoy them. The all black box is kind of a frustration, can't read anything on it. They are a 10mm dynamic driver, 16 ohms of impedance, 101 dB of sensitivity, and they have a frequency response of 15 hertz to 15 hertz to 40 kilohertz. They have that high-res sticker on there, so they should be good, right? Let's take a look at it real quick. So you slide the sleeve off, you get a nice little black box, and I'll warn you right now, there's absolutely nothing inside here. Check the link down below for the somewhat unboxing that was done. You will get your in-ears here, your little carrying bag here, some paperwork, and your cables underneath. Very straightforward, easy, simple. Makes you feel like you're unboxing something premium, a lot more expensive than what you are paying for the price of $150. The little carrying case is very nicely done. On the back it says, salute to ask, I cannot read today. Salute to art and science. Salute to art and science. It says Simgot on the front. Get a little flap, and then inside you get some ear tips. You do get two different types of ear tips. You get ear tip 1 and let's make sure that you guys can read these. There you go. Ear tip 1 and ear tip 2. As you can see, I have ear tip 1 installed. I prefer ear tip 1. All sound impressions will be done with ear tip 1. I did enjoy ear tip 2. We will talk slightly regarding the sound differences. Ear tip 1 is for powerful and high frequencies, high resolution and penetration, crystal clear sound. Ear tip 2 is enhanced bass and superior listening comfort, outstanding attenuation of ambient sibilance, neutral and bass driven sound. The comfort with both tips is the same. The only difference is their build quality or design, is a little different. So ear tip 1 is a little flatter shaped and also has a larger bore and clear around the bore. Ear tip number 2 is a little bit more bulb shaped and has a narrower bore and has a red ring around it. So you can always tell the difference between which tip you are using and based off of whether or not you have a ring. The other nice touch is they have blue for the left and red for the right. So when you're putting them on, you know exactly which one goes on which earphone. The earphones themselves, the EN700 Pro is a very unique design. Looks like it has open grills, but it does not. That is just for looks, but it looks awesomely sharp and cool. They're not very chunky at all. You take that tip off and there's your nozzle. As you can see, most of the size is nozzle. Has a nice lip on it and ridge for the bore. The cable is 8-core copper. It's not a bad cable, but it's not my favorite. It's a little bit on the thin side down to the split, and it kind of tangles up a little bit. And they have this copper color here on the chin strap. Doesn't really stay in place too well. It's better than some. Goes into a nice tight braid, goes to a connector, and then instead of being copper, it's silver. I wish they had either done the silver split slider thing in silver, or if they had done these in the copper. Either or. The mix match drives me nuts. It does have carbon fiber right there in the middle, 3.5 millimeter. They fit extremely well in the ear. Just go right over. Those preforms do not get in the way at all. And don't be expecting any sort of great isolation on these. Not good at all on blocking out outside noises. I can hear pretty much everything around me. Now if you turn music on, obviously it blocks out some, but for the most part, these aren't going to be good for loud situations. I think they look really nice. They're extremely comfy. Overall presentation, design, and looks and comfort and all that, top notch. Cable, could get a little bit better. How do they sound? Now, as I said, all impressions will be done with ear tip number 1, which is the mids and treble tip. Ear tip number 2 adds more bass, but you lose detail and just a little bit of energy in the treble. Everything else is the same as far as that. It just thickens things up a little bit and makes them a little bit warmer with ear tip number 2. I prefer to do a little bit more balanced sound signature and mid-forward treble and treble that ear tip number 1 provides. Sorry if you hear my cat. He's trying to get in the office and the door is closed today. How do they sound? Bass is decent. It rolls off into sub bass, so you get a little bit of, you might hear it every now and then, but it's not really prominent. But it has good details when it does make an appearance. These are more mid bass focused, and they have a nice thump to them, very good impact and details and clarity. They have a I'm here type of thing, but it's not dominating the rest of the mix. Now, if you put the bass tips on, that changes a little bit and it thickens it up and makes them a little more prominent, but they still do not overtake the rest of the mix, and they still retain very good details. The bass does bleed into the mids, and it adds a nice warmness and just a fullness to the sound, and they have very good natural tone to it, very good timbre, excellent tonality, and I really enjoy the mids on these. It just sounds like it should. And it doesn't sound metallic, does not sound unnatural in any way, has very nice tonality and clarity in the mids. You add in ear tip number 2, it does add a little bit more robustness to the sound, but ear tip number 1 doesn't make them sound thin in any way, doesn't make them sound shouty or anything like that. It just adds a little bit of energy and a little bit more air to the mix. When you go from about 1K to about 6 or 7K, there's a nice peak, and it has a nice presence to it, adds air, energy, and details, and it's very clean and crisp, but never gets in shouty or too excited. It has a nice smoothness to it with being detailed. When you go up and extend farther up, these do extend and then kind of slowly descend down. It's not a fast drop, a sheer drop like on the Shozy Form 1.1s or anything like that. It's more of just a slow gradual drop, and that just adds a smoothness to it, brings in nice air and details, and they're just lush in the treble. Brass instruments sound really nice, violins and sopranos and high tenors, and it just has this smoothness with the treble. They're just very laid back but yet detailed. And then the Soundstage. The Soundstage actually is quite impressive on these. When you put them in your ear, you know that you have in-ears in your ear, but the sound doesn't sound like you have in there. You get about shoulder width, maybe a little wider Soundstage. They have nice width to them. Depth is decent. You do get some layering in there. It's not blocked off. It's not right, center, left. It's very well spaced, very well imaged. You get good details, and you can get some precise pinpoint accuracy on there. So like if the singer is to the one side of the microphone, you'll know it. If instruments are only coming from one side, you'll know it. It's a very nicely placed soundstage. It has decent depth and layering in it. So the Simgot EN700 Pro really impressed me. I truly enjoy them. For the price tag, that 10mm dynamic has nice thump in the bass, and the treble has just nice clarity, and then those mids are just there. Vocal lovers will like the Simgot EN700 Pro. If you don't like a little bit warmer of a sound signature and you want something that gets the same amount of details and clarity and decent soundstage and imaging and precision, but you want something a little more analytical, maybe a little bit brighter treble, the iBosso IT01s would be my pick for that. They complement the Simgot EN700 Pros very well. They have very similar detail capabilities and very good clarity and natural sound to them. They're just a little bit more on the brighter side and a little bit more analytical. How do they pair with different gear? Didn't really use them on the desktop. These are portable in-ear. Really enjoyed them. Did play around with them on the THX AAA 788. Sounded fantastic. Sound great on the iFi Pro iCan with the IE match. It works great. You can use them also with various dongles. So the Advanced Sound Access Port Lite sounds very good with that. Has a nice warmer tint to it. The Razer dongle USB DAC sounds good. Has a little bit brighter of a sound than the Access Port Lite. And then if you use the X Duo Link, it works really good. And that ES Saber DAC in it brings out a lot of details and takes away a little bit of the warmth of the in-ear, so you get a little bit more of a lighter sound in that regard. Truly do enjoy it also with the Pioneer XDP30R. Works great, has plenty of power. Only need to get to about 20 on the volume, and you have plenty. Get up to about 30 and it's way too loud. So these are extremely easy to drive in ears. Using my cell phone, the Note 10 Plus, all the dongles worked great on it. Works also on my Chromebook Go, and you just plug it into the USB-C or into the headphone jack and it sounds great. Simgot EN700 Pro, had no idea what I was going to get from those, but I'm so glad that I purchased those and brought them in for review. Truly enjoy them. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen is going to be a notification and subscription links. If you haven't already, please check those off. And if you really enjoy this channel, would like to support it, or have questions regarding it, check out the links down below. Thanks.